Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking about 50 Cent, who has been talking about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Love, whatever you want to call him, has been poking the bear for years, has been making several allegations regarding his encounters with Puff Daddy and some things that were weird that kind of had him questioning some things, and to the point that he did not want to attend any future Diddy parties, did not want to accept Diddy's offer to take him shopping, and all sorts of other things. And so now 50 Cent, as you know, who has got a second career in his production company, his acting, the Power series on Stars, and all of the things, is now apparently, according to reports, is going to be developing a documentary against Diddy, you guys. And I hope this sees the light of day, you guys. I hope it sees the light of day. So his G-Unit Films, 50 Cent's G-Unit Films, this is, like I said, the same production company that has produced shows such as, his series Power and others, right? And so basically, he also had, some other series. Remember the show, I believe it was on ABC, about the guy who was wrongfully convicted and became a lawyer throughout his jail sentence and what have you, and then was eventually able to argue his case and get himself released from prison. I felt that show should have been renewed. It unfortunately was canceled, but nonetheless, he's also done another, behind the podcast of Surviving El Chapo, the twins who brought down a drug lord. Basically the Chicago twins who became, America's biggest drug traffickers and all of the things. And he's also produced, I believe, the deaths of Pop Smoke and Extation and King Von as well in the hip-hop homicides. So 50 is well versed on, not only producing content as far as different TV programming, but also has done previous documentaries and podcasts and things that pertain to, crimes that are involved in the rap community, right? And, nobody should be exempt. Nobody, not even Diddy himself, right? But, this is coming on the heels of Cassie's lawsuit, right? So Cassie had the lawsuit, and remember I did a video that basically said this is the tip of the iceberg, right? Because of the fact there were specific names that were dropped in this lawsuit, because of how quickly Diddy settled, told me that this was different than previous allegations from before, right? And ultimately, we got some more accusations that have came down the pipe. And we also got the announcement earlier this week that Diddy has signed down, he probably was voted out by the board, if we're keeping it a buck, to no longer, be the face of Revolt and some of his other brands. And, he's basically done, as far as I'm concerned, right? But it's just going to be a matter of, at this point, what celebrities, how are they going to move, right? And the ones I'm paying attention to the most are the people who hung out with Diddy the most, who are also A-listers that are also conveniently quiet, just like they were quiet with R. Kelly too, right? So I have my eye on those, right? And I also have my eye on people who are switching up and who are going to eventually try to, victimize Diddy in the press and say, oh, 50 Cent, you're going too hard, blah, 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 blah. Waiting for that, because that tells me that the call is coming in from inside and that somebody is paying those particular voices to make sure that Diddy's reputation, even though it's already tarnished, right? But to still support Diddy, right? And the motivation behind that is so that their skeletons do not get exposed. right? See, everybody's all connected in one way or the other, right? Not everybody's going to be 50 who sees through the nonsense and realizes this isn't it. And all of the allegations and whether or not alleged goons are going to come and take care of you if you speak out. Remember, most recently, I'll be sure was alluding to some things that were sus about Kim Porter's death. Next thing you know, he's in a coma. Right? Can't all be a coincidence, you guys. But I am hoping that there's not any pushback against 50 Cent, right? Because he has receipts on days about different encounters that he has experienced with Diddy in the past, and who better to produce a documentary than somebody who has had these encounters firsthand, right? This isn't somebody who's trying to be a hater. I mean, 50 Cent absolutely trolls and does all kinds of things on social media, but ultimately, you know, this could piece together some of the alleged rumors that have been around about Diddy for years that unfortunately would either get shut down or silenced. And we would never hear of it again. And Cassie's case is finally a case that made enough noise that made the New York Times, the New York Post, all the major publications. She was so detailed. She named specific people to the point those specific people are deleting their Instagrams and their social medias because they were there witnessing the alleged abuse and other things take place against Cassie and others, and did nothing and said nothing because they were on the payroll. And when you're on the payroll, people are taught, you know what? You signed a non-disclosure agreement to basically, you know, whatever you see here, whatever happens here, you're not going to talk about it. And you'll still get a check, right? And that's how that goes with these, you know, high-profile celebrities and entertainers and all of the things, right? But now chickens are coming home to roost. And it's not just Diddy, you guys. You know, as you know, there have been allegations now against Jamie Foxx. As you know, there's allegations against L.A. Reid. There are allegations upon allegations. It is finally hitting some of the heavy hitters in the music industry. It is finally hitting some of the black heavy hitters in the music industry. But the question is it going to hit everyone? Or are certain people going to be exempt? As of now, there are certain A-listers that have also had the same rumors as Diddy, as, you know, allegedly being inappropriate with women, as allegedly dealing with women who are underage and grooming those women until they become of a certain age and then become a superstar, or are grooming them to become a superstar, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, right? And these people, you know, whether it's an alleged casting couch, whether it's an alleged, you know, encounter that was against their wishes, was against what they wanted, or they were not of age to, you know, give the appropriate, you know, consent or understand fully what was happening. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, you guys. But I hope this documentary happens, right? Because how many rumors have we heard about these celebrities, right? And sometimes it hits mainstream, sometimes it stays within, you know, the black blogs, the black gossip areas. Primarily, you know, Wendy Williams, you know, especially was hot on the press when it came to Diddy back in the day, back in her radio days. And I wish she was still doing, you know, talk shows and gossip and everything else currently, so she can come out and be like, I was right. I told you so, right? Because a lot of times she would get threatened by these people to stop it, right? To stop saying some of the things that she was saying. People would, you know, blame her alleged drug use and try to say that she was high and she was making up things and all of the things. But a lot of the things that she has said over the years about these celebrities, especially these celebrities that are from New York, have come out to check out, have come out to become true, right? And 50 Cent, and see, that's the thing, too, people fail to realize. 50 Cent hasn't just been saying this as these allegations have been coming out, as, you know, finally they've convicted Tupac's killer, and 50 Cent was saying that Diddy needed to lawyer up allegedly, too, because he may have something involved with this, right? But he's been saying this before that. 50 Cent has been dropping hints and dropping stories of suspect encounters with Diddy. And either some people just laughed it off or they didn't take it seriously because nothing was, amounting to anything of the magnitude of the lawsuit that Cassie filed, right? So a lot of people either laughed it off or a lot of people were like, 50 Cent's just trolling and 50 Cent's got jokes. But now those jokes aren't so funny now, right? Now all of the trolling, ultimately was real. And now all of a sudden, the same videos, the same interviews that have been out for years, for decades, about who Diddy has dealt with, right? On a personal and professional level, and encounters that were suspect, inappropriate things that were suspect that people witnessed either on Diddy's payroll or also fellow celebs, right? But 50 Cent is the only one who has the cojones to call it out for what it is. And maybe it's because he has enough money to where he doesn't care, right? And he knows that he can get away with it, right? But ultimately, I want to see other people to speak out. And it is very telling who also parties with Diddy all the time or who is a frequent at several Diddy parties who are conveniently quiet right now. Because they don't want their skeletons exposed, right? But I feel like, there's a potential we may not see this documentary. It is going to depend if anybody tries to block this. Or if people start trying to speak out in defense of Diddy, that 50 is going too hard, right? I'm hoping that doesn't happen. And even if it does happen, that 50 stays the course. Because I know that he's going to put out good content, right? It's going to be some trolling involved. But it's going to be a good documentary nonetheless. And it is going to be factual, and it is going to have the appropriate research, information, and people who are willing to be interviewed to tell their story. Right? So this isn't over by far, right? Cassie just simply got the ball rolling. But best believe, because we heard from a few other people that also filed lawsuits, even though there are certain things that have expired as far as, what exactly, the details and such that they can report, right? But they have enough to file these lawsuits, right? And they have enough details in their encounters with Diddy to really shake the table. And so that's what you're seeing right now. Right, is people are going to shake the table. Diddy is basically resigning or being forced out of all of the companies that he is affiliated with, or in name only in some vanity CEO position, even though it really holds no power when you're a celebrity, but it looks cool to put in the interviews and the articles and Forbes, right? So he's being stripped of all of those duties, right? Is not going to be the face of Ciroc, is not going to be the face of Revolt TV, is not going to be in charge of these companies, right? And we're going to see ultimately within the next year or so how much this is really going to be a fall for grace for Diddy. And if Diddy is going to join Russell Simmons in Bali when it's all said and done, right? So this is not over. This has barely began, as far as I'm concerned. So there's that. So what do you think about all of this, right? What do you think about the additional allegations? What do you think of 50 Cent basically saying, I told you so, and now ultimately is trolling Diddy, but also is in talks to be basically producing a documentary about Diddy? What do you think? Will you watch it? Will you tune in? What do you think of the other A-listers who also hung out with Diddy all the time, who are mute, who are quiet right now, right? Either out of silent allegiance or because they don't want their tea exposed as well, right? So like I said, this is just getting started. We have barely scratched the surface of more dominoes to fall, right? And don't be surprised if you see, Carisha next week. Like, Diddy, I'm still going to ride for Diddy, right? Make it make sense, right? So there's that. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.